Hello, if you happen to hear a little bit of noise in the background, it's a tower fan I have going on because we're going through a cold snap here in Hampton Roads. And the heater is not quite just doing it, so you guys know how it is. But anyway, I wanted to relay this message to you. Was on my heart to speak on it a couple of days ago, but I didn't say anything. And I want to talk about triggers. Now, for some of you who have ever gone through any type of mental health or rehab counseling or program, you know what a trigger is. But for those of you who don't, a trigger is basically a source of stimuli. Is something that can encourage or coerce someone to do something that they don't want to do. Well, it could be something that somebody does that's positive, but in a lot of cases a trigger is negative. And when a person's going through any type of support, emotional or psychological support program, they're being told about triggers before they complete the program so they could be aware of the signs of a trigger. There are some people in this world, that's all they do, is they trigger other people to do negative things. These people are ruled by demonic spirits. And for those of you who don't believe in demonic spirits, it was nice having you here, but it's time for you to go, because on my channel we talk about these things and you won't understand. So, thanks for visiting, but you need to go to another channel. I'm just saying that. Not trying to be mean or anything, but you're going to get lost. And I don't want you to get lost. I'd rather for you to go somewhere where you're more comfortable. Some of these people are triggered by demonic spirits, and they spend every hour of their waking day trying to get people riled up, and they do it in different ways. The most recent popular way is doing it by way of social media, in the way of bullying, in the way of going into DMs, in the way of contradicting people, in the way of trying to emotionally blackmail them into not speaking their truth. That's a common one that's going on nowadays. I don't know what's up with that. I look at it like this: if you're a troll and you got so much to say about everybody else's video, why don't you just go ahead and open up your own platform and just be one of those little gossip channels or whatever? I don't understand that. That's why, demonic spirits are confusing. But I say this to say this: when you're dealing with triggers, you got to learn how to identify them, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself behaving on that low vibration that you were trying so hard and worked so hard to get away from. You find yourself doing things and saying things that you swore that you weren't going to do because you didn't identify the triggers. And unfortunately, triggers can come from people that you already know, regardless of the relationship. Now, I've already spoken before about relationships on this channel, and I'm not saying it because I hate people or anything like that. No. I love people. I'm saying this out of love, but I'm trying to help you look out for yourself. And there are some people in this world that are so damaged emotionally, when they see you trying to work on yourself, they can't comprehend it. And for some people, they get angry behind it to the point where they feel, okay, you know what, I'm going to make them go back to the way they were. So I'm going to do something or say something or make them think a certain way or make them act a certain way so they could be back on the same low vibration as I am, because deep down, I don't have the courage to do the spiritual, emotional, and mental work that I need to do. And I don't want to be in this pit by myself. Y'all heard me. Misery loves company. Truth. Period. And it doesn't have to be someone who is economically disadvantaged or doesn't have much education. See, that has nothing to do with it. That's on a superficial level. It doesn't matter how many material possessions they have or education or whatever it is. They could shine like a brand new penny, but they could be damaged and rotting on the inside, and that's the truth. And there are some people in this world that are emotionally jealous of other people. It has nothing to do with money. There are some folks that are doing very well financially and materially, and the whole world will probably wish to be them, but deep down they could be jealous of someone who has less than half of what they have, simply because that person has more intestinal fortitude and has more emotional stability than they have. And they're not going to say anything to them. They're not going to offer them any support. They're not going to do anything for them at all because they don't want to acknowledge that person is in their life. They are jealous of what that person's made up on the inside. So they'll let the demons come in. And the demons come in and they start telling them all these crazy messages and all these crazy things to do to try to make that person fall. Why? Especially if that person hasn't even done anything to you, not having anything to say. Whatever happened in the past was in the past. But I'm talking about today, right now. Let's say that you did have a fractured relationship with this person in the past. And they obviously have made changes for the better. You're so possessed by this demonic spirit that you can't even offer a thumbs up. You can't say, hey, I'm proud of you. You can't say anything nice to that person. Every time you get in contact with them, it's always something negative. Every time. It's either you talking about your problems or you trying to point out flaws in their life that probably don't even exist anymore. It's never anything positive. You have conversations with everybody else in your world and it's normal conversations. Hey, how you doing? You're cracking jokes. Anything that you need, normal conversation. But this one particular person, every time they talk to you, is something negative. Or they're too tired. Or they don't have time for this. Or that is always, or some kind of complaint or frustration. Why do you think that is every time they contact you? It's because they want to bring those negative feelings into your world because they see that you are leveling up. They see that you're operating on a higher vibration. And in their mind, they've already played judge and jury for you and figured that you don't deserve these blessings from the Most High. Well, I've got a news flash for you. If any of you out there feel that way about someone, you need to check that shit. You really need to. Because what you're doing is that you're speaking out badly against someone who's receiving their blessing, and you're questioning the Creator because the Creator made all of us. And when you get into that territory where you want to question the Creator's blessings, you asking for some bad karma. I'm telling you that right now. You asking for some rough shit to happen to you. So if I were you, I would go ahead and put that to bed. Do whatever you need to do. Pray, meditate, go see a spiritual counselor or whatever it is and put that to bed and start showing some support for God's creatures. Because if you don't, all of a sudden, things are going to start happening to you. And I'm not saying this because I want to place a curse or anything like that, because I've been on both sides of the situation. I'm just telling you how the universe works, because some of y'all still ain't got the damn message yet. And things could happen in your life that don't have anything to do with your relationship with this person. But see, you got to understand, in this universe, everything is connected some way, somehow. So if you sit there and you have a fractured relationship with someone for no reason, for some old petty mess that could be easily resolved, and you don't want to show any support, you don't want to extend the olive branch, you want to speak ill on their name, you want to joke about them, you want to sit there and test their circumstances and everything else, and every time their name comes up is negative, negative, negative. You're thinking in the past because you hadn't even been around in the present to see what's going on with them. Telling lies, misrepresenting them to other people and everything else. You're doing all this stuff and you actually think that you can go home to a nice quiet situation, to a nice quiet life and still be blessed. You are delusional. That demon done messed your head up. So you might want to think about that. Stop going around triggering people that are trying to do better for themselves. Stop doing it, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Somebody is watching you. Somebody's watching how you move. Somebody's watching how you talk. And the same mess that you've been having this field day about is going to wind up in your house. It's going to wind up on your doorstep. And see, this other person's already done the work. They fought the battles and you haven't. So how do you think you're going to fare once it comes in your house? Just saying.